Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into two absolutely massive, paradigm-shifting developments happening right now in modern medicine. We're talking about a complete revolution in two areas that are distinct, but honestly, philosophically linked: metabolic optimization and cellular tissue regeneration. We're going to rely heavily on the latest clinical trial data from 2025 and 2026, alongside some major recent FDA regulatory shifts to really understand exactly how the human body's capabilities are being entirely redefined.
Here's our roadmap for today. 1. Next-gen weight loss drugs. 2. The power of Retatrutide. 3. The healing peptide revolution. 4. The 2026 FDA reclassification. And 5. Navigating the new landscape. Let's get started.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Next-gen weight loss drugs. So, for years, GLP-1 and GIP receptor agonists have basically dominated the medical conversation, right? But the SURMOUNT-5 clinical trial, which was published in the New England Journal of Medicine, finally gave us a 72-week head-to-head comparison of the top contenders in adults with obesity. And wow, the results are really striking. Tirzepatide demonstrated clear statistical superiority, achieving a 20.2% reduction in body weight. Compare that to semaglutide's 13.7%.
But, weight isn't just a number on a scale. It's really about structural and metabolic health. Tirzepatide reduced waist circumference by 18.4 centimeters, leaving semaglutide behind at 13.0 centimeters. Why does that matter? Well, waist circumference is a primary indicator of visceral fat. That's the dangerous fat packed tightly around your internal organs. By significantly reducing this metric, tirzepatide is offering profound real-world impacts on metabolic health. We're talking about reducing cardiovascular strain and just vastly improving overall body composition.
Moving right along. Section 2. The power of Retatrutide.
Now, if tirzepatide was the major breakthrough of the early 2020s, Eli Lilly's newest compound, Retatrutide, is absolutely the heavyweight champion of 2026. Retatrutide is a first-in-class triple hormone receptor agonist. That means it simultaneously targets GIP, GLP-1, and importantly, glucagon. Just look at that number, 28.7%. In the Phase 3 TRIUMPH-4 trial, patients on the 12 milligram dose lost an average of 71.2 pounds. Let that sink in for a second. That is literally like unstrapping an adult golden retriever from your body. We are reaching levels of weight reduction that were previously only seen with bariatric surgery, but now it's achieved entirely through pharmacology.
But here's the thing. Retatrutide isn't just an aesthetic drug. These metabolic changes translate to massive functional healing. Patients experienced a 75.8% reduction in knee osteoarthritis pain, vastly improving their mobility. But let's talk about what else it's doing, specifically regarding a hidden liver disease that affects a huge chunk of the population. Lilly is actively studying retatrutide's impact on MASLD, metabolic dysfunction-associated steatotic liver disease. This is a quiet crisis affecting roughly 38% of the global population, that is about 1.5 billion people, and it's strongly linked to obesity and type 2 diabetes. Now, It Turns A Piety NASH Phase 2 trial previously showed a really impressive 51% resolution with fibrosis improvement, but retatrutide is expected to significantly outperform it for liver outcomes. Why? Because of some breakthrough research presented at the April 2026 ADA scientific sessions. The data showed that GIP and glucagon activity alone without the GLP-1 is sufficient for comparable weight loss. Glucagon agonism is the absolute key differentiator here because it directly drives hepatic fat oxidation and aggressively reduces liver fat accumulation. If the results hold up, retatrutide's label could expand well beyond just obesity to tackle this widespread liver disease, joining drugs like resmetirom, which was the first oral NASH drug FDA approved back in March 2024. This is a huge deal.
However, as with all incredibly powerful therapeutics, we have to examine the safety profile objectively. Alongside your typical gastrointestinal side effects, the TRIUMPH-4 trial revealed a new safety signal, dysesthesia. This is an abnormal, sometimes painful sense of touch. And notice the stark contrast here. 20.9% of patients on the 12 milligram dose reported this, compared to just 0.7% on the placebo. While Eli Lilly noted these events were generally mild and rarely led to people actually stopping treatment, it is a very real physiological response that requires close monitoring by prescribing physicians.
Section 3. The healing peptide revolution.
Okay, so we're moving from the macro level of massive weight loss to the micro level of cellular tissue repair. Before we dive into what probably sounds like an alphabet soup of specific injectable compounds, let's demystify the medical jargon. What exactly is a peptide? Simply put, it's a naturally occurring chain of 40 amino acids or less. If it's 41 or more, it's typically classified as a protein. Our bodies naturally produce hundreds of thousands of peptides to signal various biological functions, from immune responses to, you guessed it, tissue repair.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how specific amino acid chains have been meticulously isolated to target healing and performance. Take BPC-157. Originally discovered in gastric juices, it promotes angiogenesis. That's the creation of new blood vessels, which accelerates wound and tendon repair. TB500 is a synthesized version of thymosin beta-4, known for promoting cellular turnover and tissue rejuvenation. Then we have the growth hormone secretagogues, like the CJC129-5 and ipamorelin stack. These synergistically signal the pituitary gland to release natural growth hormone, aiding recovery without heavily spiking your cortisol. And tesamorelin? That's an FDA-approved peptide utilized specifically for targeted visceral fat reduction. These are highly specific chemical tools for human optimization.
Moving to Section 4, the 2026 FDA reclassification.
Having the science is only half the battle, right? Having legal, safe access is the other. To truly understand the gravity of the massive regulatory shift that occurred in early 2026 regarding compounding, take a look at this quote from Dr. William Seeds. He's a leading authority on peptide therapy. The FDA announced a reversal of previous restrictions, moving 14 popular peptides back into the legal compounding pipeline. Dr. Seeds points out that this is a testament to the sheer efficacy of these agents when they're applied under the care of a trained provider.
Let's map out exactly how this is all unfolding. In February 2026, HHS Secretary Kennedy made the initial reclassification announcement. As we move through Q2, a formal FDA guidance draft is expected, followed by some highly anticipated Pharmacy Compounding Advisory Committee meetings in July. The final rule publication is expected by Q3 of 2026. What this timeline really shows us is that this regulatory transition isn't just a one-off event. It's a highly active, ongoing process that is fundamentally shaping the medical landscape as we speak.
So here is the current divide. On the left, we have compounds reclassified to Category 1. This means BPC-157, TB500, and CJC-12095 can legally be produced by licensed compounding pharmacies. That ensures verified purity and accurate dosing. Now on the right are Category 2 peptides like follistatin 344 and cerebrolysin, which remained restricted to research only. It is absolutely vital to understand this distinction. Buying restricted peptides from unregulated online research chemical vendors carries massive risks regarding contamination and degradation. Moving recovery peptides to Category 1 directly addresses that huge quality control gap.
Section 5. Navigating the new landscape.
So, with the availability of next-gen weight loss drugs and newly legal compounded peptides, how are people actually acquiring and using these therapies safely in 2026? So the crucial point is this systematic, medically supervised protocol. Step 1 is always finding a prescribing physician, like an endocrinologist or a longevity specialist. Step 2 is getting comprehensive baseline blood work to track markers like IGF-1 and liver enzymes. Step 3 is filling that precise prescription through a verified licensed 503A or 503B compounding pharmacy. And Step 4 is ongoing physician monitoring at 4 to 8 week intervals. Without this structure, you're basically flying blind with very potent biological tools.
It's essential we are crystal clear on this fact. Reclassification to Category 1 does not mean FDA approval. These remain off-label therapeutics. Whether we're discussing the staggering weight loss and liver fat oxidation of Retatrutide or the cellular repair of BPC-157, these are incredibly powerful chemical tools, and they carry documented medical risks, including endocrine shifts and organ strain. Harm reduction and strict physician oversight just absolutely must be the foundation of their use.
I want to leave you with this provocative thought. We are currently witnessing a massive convergence. On one side, we have compounds capable of clearing visceral fat, taking the weight off our joints, and potentially resolving systemic liver disease for millions of people. On the other side, we have targeted peptides signaling our cells to grow new blood vessels and repair damaged tissue. As these two frontiers of modern medicine intertwine, it completely changes the conversation around human aging. What is the true future of human longevity and performance? It's a question the data is only just beginning to answer. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, stay curious, and we'll see you next time.